must have been an angel by my side.
Many women realize that dark feminine energy is actually something you can activate. This is actually something that Marilyn Monroe used to do. Like, she talked about how some days she would walk down the street, she wouldn't activate any of her feminine energy and no one would recognize her. Moments that she decided to activate that dark feminine energy inside of her, everyone would notice her, people would just recognize her everywhere she went. And I honestly think that every single woman needs to learn how to do this. Now proceed with caution because these things are powerful and they work really well. Number one is when you walk into a room, you have to start acting like God sent you there. You have to start acting like everyone in that room has been waiting for you. Now, I'm not saying this from the ego, not because you're conceited, but because you know your energy is fucking magnetic. You know that you are powerful, therefore your energy is needed in that room. Moving on to number two, you have to start embodying unfuckable dark feminine energy. Now, what does that mean? That does not mean that you are a bitch. That does not mean that you are cold. It just means that you know who the heck you are. You know your value, and you know what you're willing to tolerate in your life and what you aren't willing to tolerate in your life. Therefore, your goal when you talk to someone, when you meet someone new, your goal is not to get them to like you. Your goal is to be yourself, to be authentic, and to get them to respect you. Number three is knowing how to practice non-attachment. This is something that I do a lot whenever I'm in a situation or conversation where I want to leave the person wanting more. Now, this doesn't even have to be romantic. Like, I could literally be using this for like work meetings. And it's practicing non-attachment, the law of detachment. Now, how does this work? When you're in a conversation with someone, all you're thinking in your head, obviously you're being present, you're listening, but in the back of your head, you're like, I am unattached to this. Like, this is just a fading moment. I'm here right now. This is temporary. When you're on a date, you're like, I'm not here right now to get married, even if you are, even if you're dating for marriage. In your energy, you're like, I'm just here to have fun. I'm just here to get to know you. I'm just here to be present and be in my energy. And what a great moment that is. Like, the more you practice non-attachment, the more you draw people to you, because everyone will just be like, what the fuck is this girl on? Like, how is she so unfazed? How is she so unbothered? And why is her energy just so radiant?
And to be quite honest with you, ain't no shame in quitting. I hear people all the time talk about, hang in there, don't quit, but they ain't been in your shoes. They say they have, but they don't know what you're going through. What I will ask you though is, can you give me one more day? I'm not asking you for a week. I'm not asking you for a month. I'm not asking you for a year. Can you give me one more day? We'll deal with tomorrow when tomorrow gets here. Can you give me one more day? That's all I'm asking for.
This success thing is not for people like us. And my dad goes, Eddie, you don't have to decide you're never gonna quit. Just don't quit for one more day. I go, Dad, he goes, just don't do it for one more day. And I got up the next day and I still wanted to quit, but not quite as much. And then I went one more day, and I found myself about 30 days later, I didn't want to quit anymore.
It gets easier.
Huh?
Every day it gets a little easier.
Yeah?
But you gotta do it every day. That's the hard part. But it does get easier.
I don't know what your future is, but if you're willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it. Sometimes you need to feel the pain and sting of defeat to activate the real passion and purpose that God predestined inside of you. Now, this is your time.
Remember, there is nothing in this world that can hurt you as much as your thoughts. And there is nothing in this world that can heal you as much as your thoughts.
I'm done being scared.
Who said I'm not scared?
But you took on a croc.
And I was scared doing it. If you ain't scared of a croc biting you on the face, you ain't alive. Listen, kid, you can't get rid of fear. It's like Mother Nature. You can't beat her or outrun her. But you can get through it. You can find out what you're made of.
Suggest that you get up in the morning and the first thing you do is you go to the mirror. Before you go to the bathroom or do anything, you know, when you're really at your most delightful, go to the mirror and say, I love you. And what can I do for you today to make you happy? And you may not get an answer for a while because that part of you doesn't trust you. But if you start doing that, you'll find a very good connection. A very healing thing to do is just a couple of times a day for a month or so is to look in a mirror in your own eyes and say, I love you. I really, really love you. And just let all those feelings come up and notice them. And if it's difficult for you to do that, notice that it's difficult for you to look in your own eyes and say, I love you. And ask yourself, now where did that nonsense come from? Remember, little tiny babies, when they're born, they absolutely adore themselves. And they're totally open, and they're full of love. They express themselves freely. They ask for what they want. They love their bodies from the top of the toe to the top of their head to the tip of their toes because nobody's taught them guilt and shame. They know how wonderful they are. And then somewhere along the line, we get this idea that we're not good enough. And we start putting our tape measures around our waistline to tell us if we're acceptable. Or we read magazines that say we have to be a certain height or a certain weight before we're acceptable. Or we listen to the media that says we have to use a certain deodorant before we're acceptable. You know, it just doesn't make sense. We are absolutely divine, magnificent expressions of life, all of us.
How to be dangerous. 1. Dress classy. Always wear a watch. It's a sign of significance. 2. Look into people's eyes, no matter who they are. 3. Never appear stressed. Always stay calm. 4. Don't show your weaknesses. People will use them against you. 5. Grind in shadows. Don't show your work. Stay focused and let the competition think they're winning.
Take a look into my eyes. Can you feel the tension between the boy and me? Without you, I can't find one like you.
If I was to take you to the top of any yacht and we went to the captain's deck and I said, hey captain, you know, I want to go from Miami to Jamaica. I want to go to this port specifically. Do you know how to get there? Within 10, 15 seconds, maybe 30 seconds, he would tell me what port we're going to and how we're getting there. For 99% of the journey, he will not see the port of arrival, but he knows where he's going. You just have to follow the steps. So you don't have to, it's not this darkness. No, there's no confusion. It's very clear. Once you know what you want, just do retroactive steps on how to get there. You're not special. I'm not special. We're not the first to succeed. Millions have succeeded in the past, so can we. What have they done that allowed them to succeed? Let me replicate it. Simplicity in pattern recognition, simplicity in optimizing the behaviors of others.
Ladies, this is the most killer combination you can have as a woman, and I'm telling you, if you nail this down, you are just gonna have an aura about you that is unforgettable. So this is the killer combination, okay? Listen, you need to be soft and gentle out here, okay? You need to radiate warmth and kindness and have good energy about you. And you need to be rock fucking solid in here. Meaning, if someone says something rude to you, you're not going to get angry. You're not going to give them your precious energy, because you know that you don't cast pearls before swine. If someone behaves disrespectfully towards you, you don't go on an unhinged rant about how their behavior is unacceptable. You just find them less interesting. When you have this combination, when you are warm and inviting and make people feel safe around you, and you have a solid emotional home base and people know they cannot sway you whatever which way, you become lethal. You literally become unstoppable.
Today is one of the